Hey, thank you so much for checking the channel out. My name is Agabus. This is your financial education channel. Today, we've got an update from Janet Yellen from Yahoo Finance, who says she's feeling very good about a soft landing for the U.S. economy. Let's take a look and see what she has to say. According to Bloomberg, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said she's increasingly confident that the U.S. is able to contain inflation without any major damage to the job market, hailing some recent data which showed there's a slowdown in inflation and a fresh influx with job seekers. Janet says, quote, "I'm feeling very good about that prediction," she said recently. "I think you'd have to say we're on a path that looks exactly like that." Speaking in an interview on her aircraft en route, she was asked about the BRICS nations, including China and India, separating into their own currency, that the G20 remains the premier forum for global cooperation, doesn't seem to be too concerned about the BRICS efforts going forward. Answering the question about headline inflation, which has slowed in recent months, but is not yet quite to the Federal Reserve's 2% target, which, interestingly enough, is just a random number that they decided to create. Her answer was, every measure of inflation is on the road down, as you can see from this chart from Yahoo Finance. She highlighted that while the U.S. unemployment rate has increased in August after reaching its lowest level in more than half a century, that jump wasn't caused by a large wave of layoffs. The jobless rate has hit 3.8% last month, thanks in part to a large increase in the labor force participation rate, which was the highest level since February of 2020. China has some challenges here. Goldman Sachs Group economists now say that just a 15% chance that the U.S. will slide into a recession, which is down from the 20% chance previously. There's been some positive signs for the U.S., contrasted, however, with some of the not-so-good signs from China this year. Yellen reiterated that her view on China and the policymakers there is that they should be able to step up their financial efforts in the event of any sort of big financial pain. Her answer here, quote, "I think they have quite a bit of policy space if they decide that it's necessary to use it. They've made what to me seems like relatively small adjustments in their monetary policy." She continued and says they want to hold the world, including their own citizens, to have confidence in their economy and in their financial system, she said. As a part of her return back to the U.S., Janet Yellen and President Biden face another showdown over fiscal issues here. Congress has yet to pass another annual federal appropriations bill. So there'll be another fun conversation amongst the politicians here coming up. Yellen, in Sunday's interview, reiterated the U.S. fiscal trajectory despite the widening budget deficit, which is propelled in part to rising interest costs over the last 10 months. Higher interest expenses do create pressure on the deficit, but Yellen said she believes strongly in having a fiscally sustainable budget. And when it comes to her answer regarding sustainability, she says, I think where we are is okay. Again, this article is brought to us from Bloomberg Business Week, brought to us in part from Yahoo Finance. Thank you so much for checking the channel out. Make sure to tune in for tomorrow's episode. My name is Agabus. This is your financial education channel, and we'll see you tomorrow.